Hi, good morning. Am I audible? Please confirm, am I audible? Okay, so let's start from introduction. Any volunteer who wants to introduce? Karen, will you please introduce yourself? I guess no one is interested to introduce. Anyone who wants to introduce?
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Shabreen.
Okay.
I work as an accounts officer in the government. I have completed 4 papers and looking forward to complete this paper.
How many papers you have completed?
4 papers.
4 papers. Okay. Okay. So this is your 5th one.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else? Karen, Bhumika. Actually, I want to know how many papers have been completed by you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, yes.
I am Bhumika. I work as an editor and I have completed 6 papers. This is my 7th.
Okay, okay. And how many papers you are taking in December 2022?
Only 1 p.m.
Okay, only one. Yes, please. 3 students remaining to introduce themselves.
Hello,
Yes.
I'm Ume. I work in the revenue department and I'm taking only F5 for December 2022.
Okay.
I have completed 3 papers so far.
Rest of the 2, please. How many of you are fully committed to appear in December 2022? Is there anyone who is not sure that he or she will be appearing after December? I assume that all the students in this class will definitely be appearing in December 2022 examination. So from the very first day, make it clear that you people have to appear in December 2022 so that you can focus on your lectures. So let's start from introduction of myself. My name is Ayaz Mustafa. I'm fellow cost and management accountant as well as I'm ACCA. I'm teaching students of ACCA since 2008 for the papers of management accounting, PM, financial management, APM, and AFM. So my session with you people will be for PM. PM, as you know that this is the fifth paper of ACCA, performance management. In front of you, you are having the syllabus and study guide of PM paper. So we will start from the syllabus and study guide. Are you having the screen in front of you? Please respond yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. As you people know that performance management is just the advanced version of management accounting, which is also known as F2. So after studying the management accounting paper, students comes at the stage of PM paper. So as far as your PM paper is concerned, what is the approach to the examining the syllabus? Your syllabus will be examined in three areas: section A, section B, or section C. So the first section of the exam will comprises on 15 objective type questions containing 2 marks each. So section A will give you 30 marks. And this section A 15 MCQs can be tested from any of the syllabus area. Section B of the exam comprises of the 3 case styles. It means a scenario based question. There will be 3 scenario based questions and every scenario will have 5 multiple choice questions. So again, there will be 15 MCQs, but the difference between section A and section B will be the scenario. Section A, 15 independent MCQs will be tested from any part of the syllabus. And in the section B, there will be 3 questions, 3 scenarios, 3 case style questions. And at the end of every case study, there will be 5 objective type questions. So in total, 15 questions will be asked at 2 marks each. So it is 30 marks from section B. And the section C will be having 2 questions and each question will carry 20 marks. So there will be total 40 marks. So in total, 100 marks paper will be tested in 3 hours in a computer-based examination. If we talk about the section A and B, this is just clicking the right option. Only you have to click the right option because section A and section B both are multiple choice questions. So you have to click the right option. But as far as your section C is concerned, in section C, you will be provided with a space in which you will perform the detailed calculations, and Microsoft Excel sheet is provided in your exam, and you have to solve your question in Excel sheet, and then you have to save it and submit the exam. And as far as the descriptive part of the question is concerned, you need to write your answer in a Microsoft Word based file. So in section C, there could be part A, B, C for question 1, and similarly for question 2 of the part C, there might be the part A, B, and C. Normally, the part A is a numeric based solution. Part B is also sometimes the numeric based, and most of the time part C is the descriptive one. So what do you need to do? You need to do a practice. While you will do the practice question, preferably you have to solve these practice questions in Microsoft Excel so that you can use the Excel in a very good manner in your exam. Please let me know whether the paper structure is clear to you. Sections, there are how many sections are there? A, B, and C, and how many marks will be assessed, and what will be the pattern for assessing the uh, exam? Please confirm.
Yes, all good. Thanks.
Okay. I assume that other students are also okay with this. So moving now, the last point in this page is that from where section C type questions will be asked. If you read from here, the 220 marks question will come from decision making, budgeting and control, and or performance management and control areas of the syllabus. It means there are two questions. So definitely one question from will be from decision making. The second question will be budgeting and control, and or it might come from in a combination, or it might come from budgeting and control or performance management. So there is a choice, and sometimes examiner asks a combined question from budgeting and performance measurement. So the syllabus area of decision making is very important because it will be having a 20 marks definite question from this area, and budgeting and performance measurement will be as an optional, but one question will definitely be asked from this area of the syllabus. Whereas the section A and B are concerned, A is open from any area of the syllabus, and B will be from different areas of the syllabus. We will discuss the whole syllabus in detail on the next page. So if we look at the syllabus, the first one is information technology. This is the theoretical part, just like you have studied the same type of question as the syllabus area from management accounting, that what is information, what is data. So this is related to information system. Then specialist cost and management techniques. So there are 5 techniques: activity based, target costing, life cycle, throughput accounting. So section A type question or section B type question could be asked from this. So I will write section A plus section B. So section A or B type questions could be asked from this area. Whereas the decision making techniques, as we have studied that the decision making techniques will definitely be assessed in your constructive response question, which is the long question containing 20 marks. So this is the section C type question, but as syllabus says that it section A type MCQs can be assessed from any area of the syllabus. So we can say that preferably it will be asked in section C of the paper, but it could also be tested in section A of the paper because the section A is open to all syllabus. Section D of the syllabus, which is budgeting and control, this could be asked in section C plus section B because section B has the 3 scenario based questions of multiple choice, and similarly it could also be asked in section A type of the syllabus. Performance measurement, as the previous page was showing, that it could be asked in section C. If it could not be asked in section C, it could either be asked in B or A as well. And employability of IT skills will be assessed in section A, preferably in section A, not in the section B. However, a theoretical part of this area could also come in section C of the syllabus. So what is our strategy? If I go back to the previous page where I performed the calculations of the marks. Where it was. Yes. What will be our strategy to pass the paper? First of all, in our routine classes, we will cover each and every point of the syllabus. We will not skip any area of the syllabus. So this is our first main focused strategy. Then at the end of every topic, we will cover each style of the question, A style, section A type question, section B type question, and section C type question. So what will be the benefit of it? We are preparing ourselves for every topic in every style of the exam paper. It will benefit to us that if an examiner will ask in A style, B style, or C style, we are well prepared. But while doing your paper, I always recommend to attempt section A and section B first, because section A and section B, you have to click the right option only, and most of the MCQs are having the short calculations. There will be only 5 to 6 MCQs out of 15 who will involve a lengthy calculation. So section A and section B will save your time, and you will attempt the 60 marks question comfortably at the start of your examination. So always attempt section A and B at the first, and then at the last attempt section C type question, because section C type questions are lengthy. Scenarios are also long scenarios, and then there are 3 to 4 requirements, A requirement, B, C, or D. So it will take more time. Some students did the mistake that they attempt the section C type question at the first. So they will spend almost 2 hours in attempting the 40 marks syllabus paper area. So always attempt section A and B at the first, because this area of the paper is having 60 marks, and you know that you have to get 50 marks at least to pass your paper. So we will be having a strong grip on the whole syllabus, as well as we will be attempting the paper in the manner that we can get the 50 marks in a very easy way. Please confirm whether you are okay with this discussion or any point you want to discuss so far.
It's fine, thanks.
Okay, one more thing that you want to remember, that sometime in our country there is a interruption in the internet. Sometime teachers got disconnected, but it is very rare. If I at some time I will be disconnected, you have to wait for in this meeting, because the meeting will be continued. Only I will be skipping, so I will rejoin within a few minutes. But it is not a common scenario, but it is a rare scenario. So because this is the first class, so I am telling you just a few rules of online class, that you have to wait for the teacher. And most of the time I want a strong feedback from you in shape of yes or no, so you need to be attentive. I guarantee you, if you will attend the class, the whole week will be very comfortable for doing the practice. But I am always available on my WhatsApp to answer your queries at the end of the during the sorry at the end of the class and during the week, because we will be having the class on every Saturday at this time. So after a week you have to get in touch with your studies, so that you will not forget your topic. So this interaction will really help us to pass the paper in first attempt. Can any one of you tell the feelings about PM, what he or she have heard, whether it is easy paper or tough paper, or what are the myths that you are carrying in your mind? Any one of you that you want to share with me or the whole class? What is your perception actually?
For me, it's quite tough.
Okay, anyone else? Then on the next page, this is the detailed study guide. For example, if I go to the previous page, today we will be starting activity-based costing. First of all, we will be starting from the section B of the syllabus. And in the section B, there is a first topic, activity-based costing. So what we have to study in activity-based costing? This is the detailed study guide, that what we have to study and what we can skip. So this is the topic, activity-based costing, and we have to learn these 3 points. What are these 3 points? The first one is identify appropriate cost driver under ABC. So we must be able, at the end of this lecture, we must be able to understand the concept of cost drivers, then calculate the cost per driver and per unit using ABC. So we need to find the cost per driver and cost per unit under ABC. And in the third learning outcome will be compare ABC and traditional methods of overhead absorption based on the production units, labor hours, and machine hours. So in this topic, we have to learn the three key areas. The first one is identify the appropriate cost driver. Then we need to calculate the cost per driver and cost per unit. And then in the third part of the syllabus, we have a comparison between traditional methods of absorption of overhead. So what was the traditional method? We have studied in management accounting that we absorbed overheads based on the production units, labor hours, and machine hours. So at the end, we will be having a comparison between traditional cost and the activity-based cost. Do you have a little idea of ABC from your previous paper? But in that syllabus, you just have studied a little bit theoretical points regarding activity-based costing. And in this paper, we will be discussing the numeric aspects of the activity-based costing. I will explain this topic in a while, because this is our first lecture and our agenda is to have a strong knowledge and grip in this syllabus area, because we will be having a 3 hours class in every week. So in most of the classes, we will start a topic and we will finish that topic, because 3 hours are much are enough to complete the topic. And in some classes, we will even complete the 2 topics, which are the shorter one. But you need to, and this is the detailed syllabus, and you can download it from ACCA website, or even I will share it with you when your WhatsApp group will be available. But meanwhile, if the WhatsApp group is not available, you may contact me directly on my number. Please note it. You can contact me if you want to have any clarity regarding any of the concept before WhatsApp group is generated by the admin of the academy. Till that, you can directly connect with me. I will, even if you will ask for the syllabus and study guides and the handouts, I will share it with you. Have you noted it? Okay, so what will be the material that we will be having? I will share you the handouts. I have prepared PM Volume 1 Ayaz Mustafa. This is my handouts. We will cover from these handouts, but side by side, we will also be having a view from the PM study text Kaplan, and we will be having the practice from BPP kit and PM exam kit as well. And PM exam kit is basically the Kaplan kit, and other one is the BPP kit. So I will share these 4 PDF with you when you will demand it. I will share these with you. So first of all, if we start from first topic, activity-based costing. When you people hear the word costing, what does come in your mind when you hear a word costing? Please, anyone? What comes in your mind when you saw a word costing? Can you tell what comes in your mind when you listen or saw or you think about the word costing? The whole syllabus is very logical, so you need to build your logics. Okay, Bhumika is saying that quantity, price. Okay, I actually want everyone to respond. You can either speak or send text. Please be comfortable to ask your to respond my queries. Students, this is very poor feedback from yourself. Please be reactive. I'm giving you the liberty to speak, or even you can write text. So please, it will motivate me that you people are listening. Expense for the company, either production or non-production cost. Okay. I will give you my findings on your feedbacks to improve your learning ability. So please share. Everyone is encouraged to share the feedback, what they think when they saw the word or think about what is costing. So out of 7 students, I get only 2 feedbacks. Rest of the 5 students, please confirm whether you are listening, yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So now it is 3 students. And what are the others? Yes. Okay. Okay, very good. So that's fine. Now listen carefully. When I ask you what comes in your mind when you see a word costing, costing, 2 responses which I get is related to cost, not costing. So what I have observed that student lack in understanding of what examiner is asking. So first of all, you need to build a habit for a better understanding, and we will do this by so many times. I will ask you different points. So you just need to share what you are absorbing, that what I am expecting from you. Just share your answer. So do not hesitate to answer when I give you the opportunity to share your feedback. So costing is basically the way to calculate cost. The way to calculate cost. So this is costing, and you have learned marginal costing in your management accounting paper. You have also learned absorption costing. So basically, costing is the method to calculate cost. There could be different costing methods. So marginal costing and absorption costing are one of the examples of the costing. So there are different costing methods. So costing is the way to calculate cost. And today we will learn another costing technique, ABC, activity-based costing. What is activity-based costing? We will discuss it. So what is cost? Someone said that this is a price. Someone in the feedback said that this is a price. From now onward, you will not say that cost is a price. For a layman mean who is not accountant. And a layman can say that cost and price is the same thing, because we use the word cost as a verb. We use the word cost as a verb and cost as a noun. There are two usages. So from a layman point of view, when he or she buy a product, let's say he buy a pen for $2. He says that it cost me $2. So a layman is saying that price is the cost. So fine. But when we are in this PM class, we will not say that cost is equal to price. Cost or price is not the same thing. Price will be equal to cost plus profit. So from the accountant's perspective, cost is the sum of direct materials you have studied in your management accounting paper plus direct labor plus direct expenses plus variable overheads plus fixed overheads, and these are assumed to be the production variable overheads and production fixed overheads. Then we will get the production cost or manufacturing cost. Then we will add variable selling cost, variable admin cost. Then we will add fixed selling cost, fixed admin cost, or we can say that non-production cost. These are the non-production costs. And then we will get the total cost. So from the accountant's perspective, cost is this one. This is not the price. Any one of you who is having a confusion, what is direct material, what is direct labor, what is variable overheads, what is production cost, what is non-production. So anyone who is having a confusion regarding any of the points in front of you, if you have any confusion, any misunderstanding, misconception, please raise your understanding so that I can clear your idea. And if you are having no concern regarding these points, then respond.
Everything okay?
Everything is okay. So I assume others are also okay. So from the accountant's perspective, cost is not the price. A layman can say that we are comfortable as far as the layman is concerned. Okay, if I give you the recap of absorption costing. In absorption costing, you learned that we absorb overheads based on overhead absorption rate. What is OAR? OAR stands for overhead absorption rate, the rate at which overheads are charged. The rate at which overheads will be charged to products. We can say that OAR is the rate at which overheads are charged to products or services. If this is a service business, then overheads are charged to services as well. And how you have calculated OAR in your management accounting paper? You said that there is budgeted fixed overheads. It means we will absorb the fixed overheads. The variable overheads are directly charged. If they are not absorbed, we will absorb only the fixed overheads. So there is a budgeted fixed overheads figure divided by budgeted base. And budgeted base is basically the budgeted activity level, and the base could be either the budgeted production units. Budgeted means planned. Budgeted production units could be the base, and budgeted labor hours could also be the base, and this labor hour is basically direct labor hours. Budgeted machine hours could also be used. So if the base is units, OAR will be dollar per unit, because we have used, this is the dollar figure, and if we use the units as a base, we will get the answer dollar per unit. And if we use the base of direct labors, we will get the rate dollar per direct labor hour. And if we use the machine hours as a base, then dollar per machine hour. Now, which base we need to use? Let's say there are two departments. One is assembling and one is finishing. And in both departments, we are having with the labor hours and the machine hours figures, and as a student or as an accountant, we get confusion that which base to we use. So what we need to do, we need to use some common sense or the information given in the question. As assembly, the word assembly is usually done by the workers, and machining or finishing is done using the machines. And another way to look at the data, the biggest figure will show that the most of the work is done by the laborers or the machines. If the, let's say, there are the figures of, I'm writing it here for your better clarity. Let's say there are two departments, assembly and finishing, and you are given with the direct labor hours and the machine hours figure. And this is 100,000 labor hours, 1,000 machine hours, 50,000 labor hours, and 500,000 machine hours. So for assembly, which base is most suitable base to absorb the overheads? If we look at the assembly, two figures are given. Then which one is the most appropriate base to absorb the overheads for assembly departments? Please.
Direct labor.
Yes, very good. For assembly departments, it will be direct labor hours. And if we look at the figures of finishing departments, we will be having the most suitable base. Shabash, very good. Good. So machine hours will be the most suitable base for finishing. So this is the way how we will be absorbing the overheads. First of all, we will calculate the overhead absorption rate, and then we absorb the overheads. So what was the formula for absorbed overheads? It is overhead absorption rate multiplied by actual activity level. Now, let's say that I have calculated a rate. The rate is $5 per machine hour. The $5 per machine hour. Now, what is the meaning of actual activity? Let's say I am calculating the cost of the shirt. So the shirt is taking 2 machine hours. So 2 machine hours is the actual activity consumed by the shirt. So overhead figure will be $10 per unit. Per unit mean per shirt, because I am assuming that my unit is a shirt. Is it clear? So you have to remember the two formulas that you already know from management accounting paper, how to calculate OAR and then how to absorb overheads. So both of these you have done so many times in your management accounting. Now, in management accounting, you have already calculated the cost, because you will be given with the figures of direct material, direct labor, direct expenses, variable overheads, and fixed overheads. So this was the absorbed overheads. These fixed overheads are basically the absorbed overheads, the working I did. And then I will get the production cost, I will add the variable selling, fixed selling, I will get the total cost. So what is the basic idea? How to find the cost? Because our syllabus area was showing that compare the traditional cost and ABC cost. So this cost we have just calculated is your traditional cost, because the another name for absorption costing system is the traditional costing system, because it was traditionally used. So this will be your traditional cost, as we have to compare the figures of a traditional cost and the activity based costing. So you need to remember this format as well. And the format is very easy and basic. Now, activity based costing. Our topic comes activity based costing. As the word shows that your cost is based on activities. If I define activity based costing in a very simplest way, that cost is based on activities. Your cost of the product or service is based on activities. So first of all, if we make our understanding clear, what is an activity, then we will be having a bit comfort to understand activity based costing. So first of all, as our cost is based on activities, so first of all we need to understand the concept of activity. An activity is a chunk or piece of work which is being performed in an organization. If you remember, in absorption costing, you said that there are 2 departments, 3 departments. So in that case, in traditional system, you were looking department wise. Now, you are looking the chunk wise piece of work. For example, we do purchasing, We do inspection of our products. We do customer services. We dispatch goods to customers. So I just write 4 activities that are commonly done in any organization. We purchase, we do inspection, we provide customer services, we dispatch goods to customers. So in this case, we will not be looking at the department, that in a one department what tasks are done. We are looking the organization as a whole, and we segregate the organization in each separate head. You can make a long list. There might be 20 activities in an organization, 50 or even in hundreds. So we will divide the organization with the piece of work which is being performed. And then what to do? We do incur some cost on purchasing. We also incur cost on inspection. We also incur cost for customer services. We also incur cost for dispatch. So basically, we are debiting or crediting these accounts. Basically, these are the expense accounts. So all the accounts are debited and we have to pay for. So the balance of these accounts will show us how much have been spent in purchasing, what is the expenditure on inspection, what is the expenditure on customer services, and what is the expenditure on dispatch. So every activity has some cost, and this cost is known as activity cost pool. Activity cost pool. A pool is something in which, just like the swimming pool, we gather some water here for swimming. So activity cost pool, we gather the cost. So are you clear with the concept of activity and the cost pool? What is the meaning of activity? What is the cost pool? Activity is any piece of work which is being performed in the organization, just like purchasing, inspection, customer services, dispatch, and every activity has to be at the cost. So the cost associated with each activity will be known as activity cost pool, or you can even name it just the cost pool. So cost pool is basically the collection of cost under certain head. Purchasing, you have the cost associated only with the purchasing. Inspection, you are having the cost associated only with the inspection, and so on. In every question, there is a unique situation that will be provided to you, and you have to collect the information from that question, that what are the activities in this question, what are the cost pool in these questions. Please confirm me whether you are okay with the concept of activity and cost pool. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now the next is cost driver. First of all, as I started from the costing, one student has just joined the class. I request that student to listen the class from the very start when the recording will be available. But I will try to carry you during the class in today's class. So if you feel any confusion, you may raise your point where you can speak or you can send the text. The one who has just joined. Now, driver. In daily life, driver is someone who drives, but we usually use the driver word for a person who is driving the car or a vehicle. Now the word is cost driver. So cost driver is someone who derives the cost. Cost driver is someone who derives cost. For example, in a purchasing head, let's say you are saying that I incurred $1,000 on purchasing. And what derives this 1,000? Purchase orders. Every time I purchase, I incur some ordering cost. So basically purchase orders or purchase order is the cost driver for purchasing. And what will be the cost driver for inspection? Number of inspections. How many times I do inspection. So cost driver is someone or something which derives cost. Customer services, number of customers served. Number of customers served. Dispatch, number of orders dispatched. And these numbers will be given. Just like 100, 200, 300, and let's say 200. So these numbers will be given. Is it clear? Cost driver, I hope the cost drivers are clear. And what we need to learn, as our syllabus was showing that at the end of this topic, you will be able to identify appropriate cost driver. The first part of the study guide was showing that you must be able to identify appropriate cost driver. It means to say that question will be given to you regarding activities, cost pool, and cost drivers. You just need to identify which driver is appropriate to any activity. So you need to identify appropriate cost driver. It will not be given straightforward to you that this is related to this, this is related to this. This will not be given in most of the questions. But in some questions, examiner provides you the information of activity, cost, pool, and driver in this format. As I have mentioned in this row, that purchasing in the first row, there is purchasing, then cost, pool, then number of purchase orders. So it is very logical that purchasing is based on purchase orders. But in many cases, in the first paragraph, there is the information for activity and the cost pool, and somewhere at the end of the question, there is the information for drivers. So you need to select the appropriate driver. After selection of the appropriate driver, what you need to do? You need to find the cost driver rate. You need to find the cost driver rate. Cost driver rate is just the synonym of OAR. In overhead absorption rate, what you was doing? You are dividing the budgeted overhead with the budgeted base, and you need to select the appropriate base. Now, you have the figures of cost, you have the figures of base. Now you find the cost driver rate. So cost driver rate is equal to activity cost pool divided by volume of driver. Volume of driver mean total number of drivers. Let's say we have the data of purchasing. I have assumed that I incurred $1,000 in purchasing. And how many orders I have done? 100 orders. It means $10 per purchase order. So this is my rate. $10 per purchase order. $10 per purchase order. Is it clear? What is cost driver? How to find cost driver rate? It means if there are 4 activities, there will be 4 rates. So another difference between traditional system and activity based costing system is that on a traditional based system, we find the single rate for single department. But now in one department, there might be 4 activities, 5, 10 or 20 activities. So we need to find out the driver rate for each activity. Is it clear? Cost driver rate.
Yes.
Okay. So this was your second learning outcome of the syllabus. First one was select the appropriate cost driver. Second one is the calculate the cost driver rate and cost per unit. We will move to the cost per unit with the help of a question. And the third one was the comparison of traditional and activity based costing system. So now I am moving to the handouts regarding activity based costing system. This is the index. You will read it by yourself. Why activity based costing system was developed? Basically, this is a story. This problem was observed when different products are produced on one machine. A very simple example of this situation is that you have a printer which can print color or in black and white. So there is a machine, printer, you can get different outputs, color print or black and white. If you print one page, how many seconds it will take for a black and white and how many seconds it will take for a color print? You can say that the time is the same, whether it is printed in color or printed in black and white. The previous method of costing was based on time, machine hours. So in a previous traditional method, when 2 or more than 2 products are produced from a single machine, people thought that color print definitely have the highest overheads because it has used the color cartridge and this is expensive. But based on the machine time, we are having the same answer for the overheads charged to the color print and overheads charged to the black print. So they tried to investigate what should be the appropriate method of costing which calculates the exact cost based on the activities consumed by that product. And this situation was with the Toyota Motors. In many countries, Toyota Motors provides cars, XLI, GLI, and Grandi. These 3 models of the cars have the same body and almost the finishing time is the same, but there is a change in certain features of these 3 versions. In today's environment, you can say that iPhone Pro, Pro Max. So same product with some variations in the features. So that was the situation in the Toyota Motor at that time, that there is a car having the same body size, same structure, same shape, but there is a little variation in the functions. But when they are charging the cars with the time-based overheads. They have the same answer for the three models. And then they investigated that this is not the appropriate method. So with the passage of times, your overheads are the major part of the your product's cost. In 1960s, if I talk about the 1960s, overheads were very small as compared to the total cost. Nowadays, overheads are the major part of the product's cost. Just like if you look at the price of the iPhone, do you think that it is the production cost that you are paying? The production cost is very low, might be 10% of the total price you are paying. But what are the major portions? The rent of the outlets, iPhone, Apple outlets, you are paying for the rents because the rent will also be covered from the customers. So overheads, manufacturing overhead, one of the example is the rent. I'm just giving you the one example. Then the salaries. So everything you have to cover from your product. So nowadays, overheads are much greater than compared to the previous times. At that time, they are almost the 5% of the cost. But nowadays, some people say that overheads are 300% or 500% of the cost. So with the passage of time, overheads are become the large figures, and if the largest figure is not appropriately absorbed, then the cost will be unrealistic, and some of the products will be overcharged and some of the products will be undercharged. So in order to cope up with this situation, the traditional costing system was replaced with activity-based costing system. And these are the steps, and the steps are already explained by me. The first is activity, then cost pool, then driver. I will give you just 2 to 3 minutes to read this activities and drivers. Please read it. And if you feel that there is some ambiguity in any activity or driver, then raise your query so that I can answer you. Please take your time. When you complete your reading, you need to update me that it is done. Is it clear? Anything you want to discuss regarding activities and these cost drivers? These are just given to take your understanding. Students, am I audible? Okay. So there was a comparison. You will read it by yourselves. Then there are benefits and the limitations as well. These are self-explanatory. You will get your understanding clear. Now, a concept to understand is that what is the hierarchy of activities? Some activities are unit based, just like the labor hours. If we produce 1 unit, let's say there is a 1 hour for 1 unit, so 1 hour, and if we are producing 10 units, we will require 10 hours. For 100 units, we will require 100 hours. So if this is the case, that the time or the activity consumption is a unit based, then that activity is known as unit level activity. And in some cases, we have a batch level activity. What is the meaning of a batch? Just like I'm teaching you in a batch, maybe 10 or 15 people or 8 people are in the class and I am teaching. So the cost incurred for Hamza Academy is the batch level cost. The cost of the teacher is basically the batch level cost, the cost for the whole batch. And if that I'm teaching on an individual basis, then that is the unit level cost. So I hope you get your understanding clear regarding activity, unit level activity and the batch level activity. So if there is something that company incurred for a whole batch, a batch is basically the group of products, just like the medicines. If you look at the medicine on the that paper, you will find the batch number, because we know that medicine is produced in batches. Similarly, the cakes are produced in batches. Nowadays, there are customized cakes as well. So if we incur something especially for one customer, then that is a unit level. But if we produces the standard size cake, standard flavor, that is a batch level production. So you can assume any industry in your mind and you can think that which activity is a unit level, which activity is a batch level. Then product level. Product level means for one product, there is a certain activities. So in that case, if an activity is related to a product, for example, in cars, airbags, so the cars which are having the airbags, so having airbag is a product level. Similarly, you can assume ABS brake or any other system. So every product has a certain consumption of the certain activity. Then facility level activity. Facility level is just like Hamza Academy is having a paid account from the Zoom. So Zoom, having a Zoom platform is a facility that it is providing to connect the worldwide globally students and the teachers for their preparation. Is it clear? Are you clear with the unit level, batch level, product level, and facility level activities? So every organization has the activities in shape of these four pipes. So I will provide the students who will ask me on my WhatsApp for the handouts. I will share the handouts with them, and after that, when the WhatsApp group is constructed, a whole material will be shared in the WhatsApp group. So there are some past paper questions for our preparation and understanding. So first of all, I will start from the example 3. This is the past paper question, and this is the most easiest question asked in the exam. This question is very simple. Everything is given by the examiner in the question. So let's start for our better understanding of this concept. Let's start with example 3, brick by brick. Is a building business that provides a range of building services to the public. Recently, they have been asked to quote for garage conversions, GC, and extension to properties, EX. So what is the situation? You are given the information of a builder which provides different types of services, but currently in this question you are given you are asked to provide the price for GC and EX. What is GC? Garage conversions and extension to properties. So there are two services, and have found that they are winning a fewer GC contracts than expected. So at present, this company is having fewer GC contracts. It means getting most of the contracts for EX. What will be the reason of this? We will find some reason if there is some information in the question. But moving to the next paragraph, Brick by Brick has a policy to price all the jobs at a budgeted cost plus 50%. So you have to keep in mind that it is charging the cost plus 50%. Overheads are currently absorbed on the labor hour basis. So currently on labor hour mean this is traditional system. Brick by Brick thinks that a switch to activity based costing to absorb the overheads will reduce the cost associated to GC. So someone has made them realize that if you use ABC, your GC cost will be lower, and hence make them more competitive. Because in the first paragraph, it was given that companies having fewer GC. So why the companies getting fewer GC contracts? Because that is not correctly priced. You are provided with the following data. And what is that data? You are provided with the overhead category. So basically, this overhead category is your activity. This is activity 1, supervisors. This is planners, and this is property related. So in this question, there are 3 activities, and this is your cost pool. That how much cost is associated with supervisors, how much cost is associated for planners, and how much cost is associated for property. And in total, that is 400. So this is the driver, supervisor site visits. So number of supervisors visit is the 500. So this is the volume of driver. Is the information clear? Activity, cost pool, driver, and volume of driver. A typical GC cost 3,500 in material. So this is the cost of material for GC, and takes 300 hours of labor. So this is the labor time. A GC requires only one site visit and needs only one planning document. The typical EX cost 8,000 in materials and 500 hours of labor, and EX requires 6 site visits, 5 planning documents. In all cases, labor is paid at 15 per hour. Required. Calculate the cost and the price of a GC and EX using labor hours to absorb the overhead. So the first requirement is very simple. You need to find the cost using traditional system. So in a traditional system, what you have to do, we simply calculate the cost of materials, labor, no other information is given, and then we have to find the absorbed overheads. This is given in the question that 3,500 material is required for GC and 8,000 material cost is for EX. So we are given the straightforward cost of materials. As far as labor is concerned, how many hours of labor are required for one GC? 300 hours of labor. And labor is paid at $15 per hour. So it will be 4,500. How many hours are there for EX? 500 hours into 15, 7,500. And what are the absorbed overheads? So for absorbed overheads, we need to find the working one. First of all, we need to find the OAR. This is budgeted overheads divided by budgeted level, budgeted base. If we look at the question, our total overheads are 400. You know that in traditional system, we do not segregate the overheads into activities. So we will take the total figure as a whole. So this is 400,000. And what was the base? Traditionally, companies absorbing overheads on the basis of labor hours, and how many labor hours in total are there? 40,000 labor hours are there. So budgeted level is 40,000. So what is our absorption overhead rate is $10 per direct labor hour. It means that what will be the overheads for GC? Overhead absorption rate multiplied by actual level. Overhead absorption rate is calculated 10, and what is the base? Direct labor hours. 300 hours are required. It means this is 3,000 for GC, and for EX it will be 10 into 500. So it will be 5,000. So this is your working one. 3,000 and 5,000. And what will be your total cost in this case? No selling admin, no other cost. So the total cost are how much? 11,000. Please make a total. I have just calculated the guess figures. And what is the policy? 50% of cost. So this is 5,500 and 250. It means what is the sale price for GC and EX? 16,500, 30,750. Just confirm the figures, whether the total is okay. Please, if you have any confusion in the working or in the solution, please raise your confusion. Students, are you listening me? Please confirm, or if you have any question. I need your feedback so that I can feel comfortable that you people are listening me carefully.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Now, what is the second part of this question? Calculate the cost and quote a price for GC and EX using ABC. So, if we have to calculate the cost in ABC, we will use the same format, GC and EX, and the cost of materials will be the same, 3,500 and I guess 5,000. No, was 8,000. Okay. And what was labor? Labor will also be the same, 300 at the rate 15, 4,500. Then 500 at 15, 7,500. Now, overheads. Here is the difference between traditional system and ABC. Now, overheads will not be a single. Now we need to find the overheads by activities. So supervisor's cost, one activity. Then what are planners cost is another activity. And property related cost is an other activity. Property related. So there are three activities. We need to have the three line items, and we need to do the workings because it's the same question. So I will make it a working two. First of all, I will find the driver rate. And driver rate, we know that activity cost pool divided by volume of driver. So there are three activities. What is the cost pool for the supervisor? 90,000. And the base is supervisor's visit. And there are 500 visits. So what will be the rate per visit that we will charge to the product? Please share your answer.
180.
$180 per visit will be charged. So planners, there is a cost of 70,000. And for planners, we have the base planning documents and total are 250. But
280.
Okay. And the third is property related. The cost of property related cost pool is 240 and its base is labor hours. And labor hours are 40,000. So this will be per direct labor hour. $6. So after calculation of this, we will find the cost here. 180 per site visit. How many site visits are required for one GC? A GC requires only one site visit. So it will be multiplied by 1. So the cost of supervisor for GC will be 180. And how many site visits are required for EX? Six site visits. This is given in the question. 6 site visits. So 180 will be multiplied by 6. What will be the answer? 180 is the rate. 6 is the site visit. So 1080 will be the charges for supervisors for EX. This is the 280 per planning documents. How many planning documents are required for GC? One planning document for GC. So it is 280. And how many planning documents are required for EX? 5. So what will be the answer of 280 into 5?
1,400.
Okay. And what is the property related rate? $6 per hour. How many hours are required? 300. So it will be 1800. And for this, there are 500. 6 into 500 hours. 3000. And now, what is the total cost? So for total cost, you will add the material labor as well. So share the total cost for GC and EX. $10,260. And what will be the total for EX? So 50% will be taken as a profit. What will 10,490? Now, what will be the price for GC and EX? $15,390. $31,470. So, what this is your new price of GC, and what you were charging at that time? You were charging more. That's why you are getting the lower GC contracts. And whereas you are getting the more EX. Why you are getting the more? Because you are selling the EX at the lowest price and your costing system was not accurate and the customer is getting the benefit. Whereas the actual cost of EX is this one. So in order to make yourself competitive, your costing system must be the competitive costing system. Competitive means what your competitor is offering. Is it clear? I will give you 4 to 5 minutes to absorb this calculation. I am showing it in front of you, the whole calculation. Just take a revision of that. And if you feel any confusion, please ask. Your time starts. Okay, let me check, please. I don't know what happened to this. It will be back. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
please review it. Is it clear, or is there any confusion, or you want any clarity?
It's clear.
Everyone?
Yes, good.
Let's do question example 4. Triple Limited makes 3 main products using broadly the same production methods and equipment for each. A conventional product costing system is used at present, although an activity-based system is being considered. Details of the 3 products for the typical period are. Please remember that our main concept and the theme of the calculation will be the same. The only twist will come in the presentation of the questions data. So we have seen the one of the simplest presentation in brick by brick. And in this question of triple limited, there is a twist in representing the data. So basically, you need to have a grip on understanding of the data given to you. At the end of that, you will be having the same way to calculate the cost. There is no twist in the calculation. The only twist is in the presentation of the data. So in this question, the data is presented in a different way. There are three products X, Y, and Z. The per unit time is given with respect to labor, machine hours, material per unit is given, volume is given. Direct labor cost £6 per hour, and production overheads are absorbed on machine hours. The rate for the period is 28 per machine hour. If you look at this, OAR is given. So you need not to find the OAR because it is given straightforwardly. Further analysis shows that the total of the production overheads can be divided. Now, in the previous question of brick by brick, total along with the activities overheads are given. Three activities were there, three costs are there, and at the end the total was there. But in this question, the total is not given, as well as each activity is given as a percentage: 35% of total, 20% of total, 15% of total, 30% of total, and then it makes 100. So there is a difference in presentation of the data. The following activity volumes are associated. So number of setups, number of material movements, number of inspections. So this is the volume of activity, and it is also represented in a different way. So we will discuss it in detail. Calculate the cost per unit of each product using traditional approach. So as far as your traditional approach is concerned, this is very easy. So let's start with this calculation. So this is the solution of question triple limited. There are three products, X, Y, and Z. There is a material cost, labor cost. Material cost is given 20, 12, and 25. All figures in pounds. Labor. For labor, time is given half an hour, 1.5 hours, and 1 hour. What is the labor rate? £6 per hour. So it will be $3. For this, it will be $9. And for this, it will be $6 because half an hour, 1.5, and 1 hour. And for overheads, OAR is given £28 per labor hour. OAR is given. Sorry, this is for machine hour. 28 per machine hour. How many machine hours are there? 1.5, 1, and 3. So 1.5, 1.5 into 28. What will be the answer? 28 into 1.5. 28 into 1 will be 28.
42.
This is 42. And 28 into 3.
84.
84. So this is your total cost in a traditional system for each product. If you have any query regarding to this solution, please ask. I guess it is clear to all of you, is it?
Yes.
So the A part was very easy. Now, if we look for the second part, the requirement is calculate the cost using activity-based costing. But now, we are not having these figures, but it is given as a percentage. So first of all, we need to find the total overheads. We know that for an overhead absorption rate, we use a concept of budgeted fixed overheads divided by budgeted level. Budgeted fixed overheads are not given, but we are given with the 28 pound per machine hour. So first of all, we must have the total machine hours so that we can find the budgeted fixed overheads. Because we are not given with the total figure. So first of all, we will calculate the machine hours, X, Y, and Z. How many machine hours are required for 1 unit of X? 1.5, 1 and 3 hours. So this is the information given to us per unit machine time. And we are also given with the total number of units that we will produce, 750, 1250 and 700. So this is given 750, 1250 and 7000. So multiply this in order to get the total machine hours. Please share the answers. What will be the answer of 1.5 into 750? From the next class, everyone must have the calculator with you so that you can respond me quickly. 1125, and what will be the total of it?
1120.
Total 22,250.
22,250. So this is the total machine hours. And if we will use this figure here, is it 23 or 22? Please confirm.
No, it's
sir.
23. It's 23,375.
Okay, 23,375. So we will use it here. We will get the budgeted fixed overheads. So this was the twist in the data. 28 multiplied by 23,375. What will be the total fixed overheads? We will get the total of the fixed overheads. Previously, in the previous question, it was given 400,000. But now we have calculated the total of the fixed overheads. How much?
654,500.
Okay, so this is the total overheads figure. And now we will apply this percentage on this total figure. So I will use it here. 654,500 into 35%. What will be the answer? 654,500 into 20%. 654,500 into 15%. 654,500 into 30%. Please share the answers. This is 229,075. Then this is 20%. 139,000. 98175. And the total of all these will be 654500. So this was the twist in the data, that you are not given straightforward the overheads of each activity. Now we need to select for the drivers. If we read the name, this is the cost relating to setups. So we need to have the base number of setups. What is the meaning of setup? Setup is just like starting any activity. Before starting, you need some initial working or some initial work. Just like to start production, we need to have a repairing of the machine or some lubrication. So this is just like the setup. We are setting up the activities of production. No matter if you understand the terminology or not, you will just assume it an activity and you will select the most appropriate driver from the list of the drivers. So there were 3 drivers given in the question. I must say that there are 5 in total. Machine hours and labor hours could also be the drivers. Then cost relating to machinery. So machine hours will be the suitable driver for the cost related to machinery. Cost related to material handling. So there must be something related to materials handling. Then inspection, there is the number of inspections. So if we look at the data, from the data, we have number of setups, number of material movements. So for material handling, we will use the material movement as a base. And for number of inspections, we will be using for with cost related to inspection. So there are 4 activities. So we will find the 4 rate. The first one is cost related to setups. So driver rate, setup cost. The answer of setup cost that you told me was 229075. We will divide it with the setup cost, number of setups. And the number of setups are given in the question 670. So we will get this answer. The other activity is cost related to machinery. Machinery cost. The cost related to machinery was 13900, and the base will be machine hours, and the machine hours we have already calculated. We will get the answer per machine hour, and in the first we will get the answer per setup. There is the third activity with the name materials handling. And the cost of material handling that you told me was 98175. And for material handling, we will use the base material movements. And there are 120 material movements in total. So we will get the dollar per movement, per material movement. And the last activity was inspection activity. So the rate for the inspection will be calculated in the same way. The cost you told me was 196,350, and number of inspections are 1000. So we will divide it with 1000. So we will get 196.35 per inspection. Please help me to complete this table. What is the setup cost rate? Double to 9075 divided by 670. 341.9 will be the rate per setup. when we will be using the Microsoft Excel, we will save our time because we will use the formulas for division. Every question that I solved during the lecture, your first task is to solve these questions using Microsoft Excel. Can I assume that you will do it regularly?
Yes.
It will help
Yes.
you a lot. What will be the answer of machinery cost?
5.6.
5.6.
5.6 per machine hour. Then material handling 98175 divided by 120. This is 818.13 per movement. So the rate is completed now. The next step is to have the cost of the three products, X, Y, and Z. Cost of material labor will be the same as it was in the traditional system, but it was 20, 12, and 25. And the cost of labor was 3, 9, and 6. 3, 9, and 6. Now, overheads. For overheads, we have 4 activities, and we will write the name in a sequence. Setup cost, then machinery cost. You can use the full name as well, but I am taking the short names. Then material handling cost. And the last one is inspection cost. If we look at the setup cost rate, it is 341.9 per setup. 341.9 per setup. Now listen very carefully. For X, how many setups are required? 75. For X, we have 75 setups. So it will be multiplied by 75. And how many units we have produced? Because we are doing in per unit, we are doing this calculation on per unit basis. And 75 setups are required in total. And how many units we have produced for X in total? 750. Do you get this understanding clear? Why I divided it with 750? Because 75 is the total consumption of setups for product X. And we have produced 750 units of X, as we have to calculate the per unit cost. Therefore, I am dividing this total cost, because when I multiply it with 75, I will get the total cost. And in order to get the per unit cost, I will divide the total cost with the number of units. So what will be the answer of this? Please confirm it. And if you have any confusion,
Good.
it is okay?
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what to do for Y? This will be replaced with 115, because product Y has 115. So it will be 115. And how many units of product Y are there? 1250, I guess. Let me check. Yes, 1250. So what will be the answer of this?
31.45.
31.45. Okay. And what to do for Z? I will change the color. For Z, how many setups are consumed for Z? 480. So this will be replaced with 480. And in total, how many units of Z are produced? 7,000. Then what will be the answer? 341.9 into 480 divided by 7,000. We will get the per unit cost.
$23.44.
Okay, everyone, is this calculation clear to all of you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the next is machine setup. What is the rate for machine setup? For machine setup, we have the rate 5.6 per machine hour. So this is 5.6 multiplied by how many machine hours are required for 1 unit of X? 1.5. So it will be multiplied by 1.5. What is the answer? 5.6 into 1.5.
8.4.
8.4. And 5.6 into
Yes.
1 will be 5.6. And 5.6 into 3.
16.8.
16.8.
Now, anyone can answer why I have not divided with the total units in this case. In the setup cost, I have divided with the 750 as a total units, but in this case, I have not divided it. Why? Yes, please share your view. Why I have not divided with the total units in this case of machinery cost. No one is willing to answer. Because in this case, we get the per unit answer. So no need to further divide it. In the previous case, I get the total cost as an answer. When I multiply with the 75, I get the total cost. So I am calculating on per unit basis. That's why I divided at that time with the total units. But now this is the per unit time. So I get the answer on per unit basis. No need to divide it again. So be careful while doing this question, whether you are getting the answer in per unit basis, then no need to divide it. And if you are getting the answer in total and your requirement is to calculate per unit, then you need to divide it with the number of units. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the next? Material handling. The rate is 818.13 per movement. 818.13 per movement. How many movements are required for X? So here are the material movements. For X, 12 movements are required. So it will be 12. Now I will get the answer in total. So I need to divide with the number of units of X. It is 750. So what will be the answer? So this is 13.09. And what to do for y 818.13? Please do this calculation on your calculator. 818.13, multiply it with 21 because the number of material movements for y are 21. Multiply the rate with 21 and then divide it with the number of units of y, which are 1250. So what will be the rate for y? Answer for y. 13.74. And what will be for z? 818.13. Multiply this with 87 because 87 are the movements for z, and divide it with 7,000. 10.17. Now the for inspection, we have a rate of inspection 196.35 per inspection. And how many inspections were done for X? 150 inspections. So multiply it with 150 and divide it with 750. You will get the per unit answer. $39.27. Then 196.35, multiply this with 180 and divide with 1250.
$28.27.
And for Z, 196.35, multiply with 670 and divide with 7,000.
$18.79.
Okay. Now we will make a total of our cost. Total cost per unit for X, Y, and Z. So this was your requirement. Find the total cost per unit in ABC and traditional. Is it clear? So this question was a bit lengthy as compared to brick by brick. Brick by brick was the past paper question. This is also the past one of the past papers question, but there is a twist in the data. We have to do some calculations, extra calculations as compared to brick by brick. So all the 4 questions I have given in these handouts is the crux of all the past papers and the bookish questions. If you do these 4 questions before going to exam, you will definitely be getting the question in exam just like the replica or the copy question from any of these type of the questions. Is it clear?
Yes.
So the last question which I will perform in front of you is your question number 2, and question number 1 will be done by yourself. That question number 1 was a very simple question. Answers are given and you can do the calculation, compare the answer, and if you feel any query during the week regarding the solution, you will send your solution to me on WhatsApp, then I will respond it to you. So the last question that I will do in front of you is the example 2, which is the experiment with the name experiment. This is also another type of the twisted question in which we have a different twist as compared to example 3 and 4. So after doing this question, you will definitely be getting all the twisted flavors of the examiner. So this is basically the past paper question from CIMA, Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. And this was the one of the best question in that course. Having attended a CIMA course on activity-based costing, you decided to experiment by applying the principles of ABC to the 4 products currently made and sold by your company. Details of the 4 products and the relevant information are given below for one period. So there are 4 products, A, B, C, and D. Output in units is given. Cost per unit is given 40, 50, 30, 60 for materials. Then for labor, cost is given, machine time is given. The 4 products are similar and are usually produced in production runs of 20 units. Now, this is the new twist, that every time we produce a product, this is produced in the runs of 20 units. It means that you can produce 20 in one run. You cannot produce 15, 10, 30. So you have to produce 20 units in a batch. So for producing 120, you need to produce 6 times, because every time you can produce in 20s. So this is the new twist. And sold in a batches of 10. So in order to sell, you can sell only 10, multiples of 10. So you cannot sell 12, 15, 25. You can only sell 10, 20, 30, 40, 60. Is it clear? So the production scenario is also given, and then selling scenario is given, that you have to sell it in batches. The production overhead is currently absorbed by using machine hours. So your current absorption rate will be based on machine hours. And the total production overheads for the period has been analyzed as follows. So the total overheads are here. This is the machine setup, machine department cost, setup cost, store receiving, inspection. So these are the activities, but total is not given. So we know that in a traditional system, we need to have a total of this. Please make a total of this, because in the first part, we will do the calculation in traditional costing system. So in order to solve it in a traditional system, we must have the total overheads so that we can find out the overhead absorption rate. So what will be the total of these overheads?
26,000.
Okay, so this 26,000 will be used as a total overheads, and rest of the information is related to the drivers. We will read it, then we will solve the ABC part. The first part is the calculate the cost of the each product using the machine hours as a basis of absorption. So let's start with it. This is the question name is experiment. There are 4 products, A, B, C, and D. Material cost, labor cost, and then overheads. The cost of material and labor is 40, 50, 30, 60. 40, 50, 30, and 60. All figures are in pounds. And the cost of labor, I guess, is also given 28, 21, 14, and 21. So the cost of labor is given. Then for a traditional system, you have to find out the overhead absorption rate. And you told me that the total of the overhead is 26,000 and machine hours in total is not given, but you are provided with the following information in the question. You are provided with a per unit machine time for each product 4323. So this is the per unit machine time 4323. So these are the machine hours, and 120, 180 and 120. 120, 180 and 120. So we will get the total machine hours for each product. This is 480, 300, 160 and 360. So what will be the total of these machine hours?
$1,300.
So this will be used here. So what will be the rate per machine hour?
$20.
So 20 will be the rate. And what are the absorbed overheads for A? 20 is the rate, and how many hours are required for 1 unit of A? 4 hours. So 80 will be the overheads for A. For B, it will be 20 into 3. This is 60. For C, this will be 20 into 2. So this will be 40. And for D, this will be 20 into 3. So this is 60. So 80, 60, 40 and 60. 80, 60, 40 and 60. So this is the total cost in traditional system. Is it clear? Students?
Yes.
Okay. What you feel? Is this topic easy, difficult, or interesting? What are your feelings regarding this topic?
Till now, it's okay.
Okay. Just okay.
Don't know for later.
Okay. Now, activity-based costing, cost under ABC. Cost under activity-based costing system. So now we will calculate it. For materials and labor, there is no change. 40, 50, 30, 60. 40, 50, 30 and 60. The labor cost is 28, 21. 28, 21, 14 and 21. And for overheads, we have a segregation of setup machine department cost. So first of all, we will calculate the driver rates. And the formula for driver rate is, I must use the whole word, cost driver rate. So this is the cost pool divided by volume of driver. So first one is the machine department. And the cost of the machine department is 10,430. And we know that the suitable base for the machine department will be the machine hours. And we have calculated it 1300. So this will be per machine hour rate. What will be the answer of this?
8.02.
8.02. So the next activity is the stores receiving. Stores receiving. Cost of the stores receiving is 5. I guess I missed one. So I will I will be calculating for the store receivings. I will do the calculation setup cost after that. So stores receiving cost is 3600. And what will be the base for store receiving? Requisitions. If you look at the table below, store receiving, there is a requisitions. And how many requisitions? The number of requisitions raised on the store was 20 for each product. It means that there are 4 products. So in total, 80 requisitions are raised. Is it clear? 20 requisitions are raised by one product. So there are total 4 products. So 80 will be the total. What is the rate? 3600 divided by
45.
45 per requisition. The activity I missed was setup cost. So this is for the setup cost. The cost is 5250. And for setup cost, what is the suitable base? Number of production runs. And how many runs are there? Is there any information? No. So first of all, I need to have the number of runs. Number of production runs. I have an idea in the question that there are 4 products A, B, C, and D. I have to produce 120 units of A, 100, 80, and I guess 120. Let me confirm these figures. 120, 180, and 120. Yes. And I'm given with the instruction that in every run I can produce 20 units. So I need 6 runs for A, 5 runs for B, 4 for C, and 6 for D. So in total, I will be having 21 runs. So the total runs were not there, but I was given with the information. So this will be the rate per run. Or you can say that per production run. You want to use the whole. That will be the rate.
250.
150.
250.
Is there any other activity? Yes. Inspection. So for inspection, there is a cost of 2100. And what is the suitable driver rate for inspection? Inspection, number of runs, number of production runs. So the same base is used. So it will be $100 per production run. And the last activity is material handling and dispatch. And the cost of this activity is given 4620. And what is the suitable base? Orders executed. So the orders executed are given in the question 42. So the total figures of the order is given in the question. What will be the rate
per order?
110.
110. So after doing these calculations, we can calculate the overheads. The first one is machine department, then store receiving, then setup cost, then inspection. The last one is material handling. Due to shortage of space, I am erasing this formula. Okay, for machine department, the rate was 8.02. And how many machine hours are required for 1 unit of A? So the machine time is 4. Will be multiplied by 4, 32.08. Then 4, 3, 24.06. Then will be multiplied by 2. And then will be multiplied by 3. Is it clear? Per unit machine department cost. For store receiving, we have the rate of 45 per requisition. So 45 into how many requisitions for A? This is 20 requisitions. And how many units of A are produced? Because we get the answer in total, and when we divide it with the number of units, we will get the per unit cost, because the whole calculation is per unit. What will be the answer of this? 45 into 20 divided by 180 or 120.
7.5.
7.5.
7.5.
Yes.
Yes.
And what will be for B? 45 into 20 divided by 100.
9.
Okay. Then 45 into 20 divided by 80.
11.25.
And then for 120 will be the same 7.5. Because D is 120. And what is the rate for setup? Setup is 250 per run. So 250 per run. How many runs are required for A? 6 runs are required. Will be multiplied by 6 and divided by 120. So what will be the answer?
$12.5.
Okay. And for B, 250 into 5 divided by 100. Please verify. 250 into 5 divided by 120. Is this 12.5? Is this one 12.5?
Yes.
And what will be for C? 250 into 4 divided by 80. I guess this will also be the same. And I hope this is also the same. Please check it. Is it clear?
Yes, all good.
Okay, for inspection, the rate is 100 per run. So this will be 100 per run. How many runs are required for A and divided by total units of A.
5.
5. And this will also be 5, 5 and 5. You can check it. This is not the rule that every time it will be the same. You can check that for store receiving every time answer is different. So for these two figures, by chance, this is a coincidence that the figures are same for each product. And for material handling, we have a rate of 110 per order executed. So 110 is the rate. And how many orders are there for A, B, C, and D? This is not given in detail. So we need to have a little calculation for the orders executed. A, B, C, and D. 120, 100, 80, and 120. But question is saying that when we will sell it, we will sell in units of 10. So the 12 orders will be required for A, 10 for B, 8, and 12. So the total of this should be 40 because the 40 is the total orders executed given in the question. So if this is 40, it is verified that the calculation is correct. So I guess this is 42. Is this 42? Yes, I guess it is
Yes,
42.
yes, 42.
Okay. So these details are not given, therefore I calculated these details. So I will multiply with the 12 and divide it with 120. So what will be the answer?
11.
And 110 into 10 divided by 100. This will again be 11, 11 and 11. So these are, because the data is in a symmetry, so the figures are the same. You can recheck the calculations. And then this is your cost per unit in ABC system for product A, B, C, and D. I will give you a few minutes and just 2 to 3 minutes. And if you have any ambiguity, anything you want to ask, please. So there are 3 questions, but I will discuss it after your time expires. Please take a review of these calculations. Then we will discuss. Is this calculation clear? Students, is this calculation clear?
It's clear, but
Yes.
we will be needing more practice to understand it better.
Yes,
Yeah, that's true.
definitely we will be doing more
With
practice
practice, it will
questions.
be okay.
Okay, if you look at these handouts, question 1 is for you. The same two requirements: calculate the per unit cost using APC and traditional. So you will do it by yourself. The answers of these are given. If you have any different answer, you can share the solution with me so that I can make the handouts or you correct the figures. So rest of the three questions are done. And if you feel this is a long question, there is a rare chance that you will be asked a long question, but you will be asked a multiple choice question. In a multiple choice question, if this is given in a section B type question, the scenario will be given and there will be five multiple choice questions, five scenarios. So in one scenario, you might be asked to find a cost driver rate for one activity. In the second question, you might be asked to find the overhead cost of the one product or the total cost. And the two of the question might be the theoretical questions. So we will be having a practice questions from the practice kit in the next class. At the start of the next class, we will do the MCQs. And meanwhile, if you want to do MCQs by yourself, you can even do it by yourself. I can guide you. Let me open the PM exam kit. I will share these materials if you are not having in your system or in your mobile, then I can share you these files in WhatsApp. I will share to those who will request me to share. If you look at this kit, this is the section A. Section A in ABC, we are having the ABC for section A type questions. Then we are having the ABC in the section B type question as well. So if I go to the question, section A type questions of the so these are the questions related to activity-based costing. Starting from page number 39, question number 29. Which two of the following are not usually characteristics of the modern manufacturing environments? So you will read it. You can try it. Otherwise, from the next class, I will start from the question 29. Then there is a calculation based. Question number 39 is a calculation based question. There are two products, some information is given. Can you try it just for your better understanding? Let me read the question number 31. Then I will give you 5 minutes for the calculation so that you can get the confidence that you have earned something in the today's lecture. A company which makes two products, alpha and zeta, uses activity-based costing to absorb its overhead. It has recently identified a new overhead cost pool for inspection cost and has decided that the cost driver is the number of inspections. So the total inspection cost is given to 50,000. Production volume is given. Machine hours per unit is given. Units per batch is also given. Inspection per batch is given. So first of all, what we have to do, what is the inspection cost per unit of the product alpha? So we need to find the per unit cost related to inspection. Inspection cost is given. If we find the number of inspections, And for a number of inspection, it is given that 4 inspections are required for one batch and 1 inspection is required for one batch. And now we need to know how many batches are there. So first of all, we need to find the number of batches. For alpha, we have 2500 units of production and we produce 500 units in one batch. So we will get the 5 batches. And for one batch, we have 4 inspections. So it will be 20. And for zeta, we have to produce 8,000 units and we produce 1,000 unit in one batch. So there will be 8 batches. So it is 8. So total 28 batches. 28 inspections. So we will divide it with 28. So what will be the rate per inspection? What will be the rate? So this is 8928.57. So this is the rate per inspection. What we are asked to do, what is the inspection cost per unit of alpha? So 8928.57, and how many inspections are required for alpha? Multiplied by 20. And we need to find the per unit. So we will divide it with the number of units of alpha. So what will be the answer? 2928.57 multiplied by 20 divided by 2500. So I will get the per unit cost of inspection for alpha. And this is the requirement. No need to find for the zeta and the whole question. So this is the beauty of the MCQs, that you will be asked for only a part calculation, and we have done the long questions in which from we have calculated A to Z all the calculations. So all the concepts of the MCQs will be covered from those 3 to 4 questions. What will be the answer of this?
71.43.
So this is the C option. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
So as this this is the first class, this is just like the trial class, or you can have an overview that how I will teach you. So this will be my style of teaching from first class to last class, that at the start of the every lecture I will do some basics. Just like for the coming class, at the first of the class I will solve these MCQs. If during the week you will solve it by yourself, you can hold me that we are okay with these MCQs, then I will not solve it. Otherwise, my agenda for the next class will be at the first of the start of the class, it will be for the MCQs from section A type questions. Then we will be having a section B type questions, and section C type questions we have already done in today's class. And as far as your examiner's instructions are there, there is a no chance of having a section C type questions from this topic. So we will cover section A and B type questions of ABC in the coming class. Then we will start a new topic from the scratch just like I started my today's topic of ABC from your management accounting topic of absorption of overheads. So I will always start every new topic with the scratch. So the first few minutes of every topic are very important. And I hope that I have engaged all of you during the whole 3 hours session by asking so many times, is it clear, or responding on the numeric answers. So all of the you people will be very active. You need to be active while you are attending the class. If you are attending the class for the whole session in this active way, I guarantee you that you will get good marks in your first attempt, because I always try to teach the students in an easy and understandable way. And I offer so many times to respond to people. So the only request is to attend the class in a live session. Do not go for the recorded one until unless you do not have any other option that you cannot attend today's live class. Then at the least last option, you can go for the recording, but preferably you must attend the class in a regular time. There might be a few extra classes after a month, but we will manage the extra class as per the convenience of all the students. And most of the time I will take it on a regular basis. The extra class will be in addition if our syllabus will be slow. But I hope, as per agenda, my today's task was that the introduction of the syllabus, introduction of the paper, introduction of ourselves, and then completion of activity based. And I have done it in a well manner as per my perception that all of you are having a good understanding of this topic. So at the next class, we will be doing the MCQs. Then we will start another topic. The next two topics are very short topics. So hopefully we will complete the two topics in the next class along with the MCQs, because they are very easy topics: target costing and life cycle costing. Is there any question, any feedback from your side, any suggestion for the improvement of the rest of the session that you people want me to do in that way, so that I can mend my ways as per your desires? If you have any valuable suggestion, please share. Or if you agreed with this pattern, then also let me know so that I can confidently move on for you people for this session. No suggestion from anyone? I encourage you to participate, please. Whether you can text me yes, no, or you can even speak. I love to listen from all of you. It will actually, I'm not seeing you, so I feel that sometimes people are not listening carefully, and I'm putting too much effort for delivering the concepts and all that. And if no one is responding, it is not good.
Can you email us the lecture notes and the textbooks?
Yes, Academy will email these material to you. I will share to the coordinator, and coordinator
Yeah.
will send this folder to you. I will
Yes,
send
Susan.
this folder. I will send this folder in a zip file. There will be 4 files.
Okay, so that we can take it as reference.
Yes, yes. I am just sending this to him.
Okay, thank you so much.
If there is no other question and no feedback, then we can end the class. Please. I guess no comments. No. So take care of yourself. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.